Hey guys, gang, Gail Kendig here. I do have my little dog Wolfie here, so if as long as he's behaving, we'll be fine. If he gives me a chance to pick him up, I'll introduce you. But he's a chubby little 14-pound doggy. Today I want to talk to you about lights, camera, action. We've all heard about lights, camera, action, right, from the movies. And I did a talk a long time ago about those three things and really how they relate to how our mind works, right? So when you talk about lights, I think of that as a light bulb moment or thoughts, right? Your thoughts, thoughts that you've had in the past about anything. It could be a DIY project that you're working on and it's like, wow, this is so cool. And you put it on Pinterest, it starts getting attention. All of a sudden it turns into a company. I mean, when you have a thought, it depends on the decisions you make after that and what you want to do with that thought. And every thought is really an action. Every thought is powerful. So I love for you to think about that and to think about your thoughts and what you think about. And if there's something that's, been, bubbling up inside of you that you want to create or take it to the next level, we're going to get to the camera part, right? So the camera part is the vision part, what you see. So you've got the thought, now that becomes a thing, which turns into a picture. So now you can picture this, say it's not a DIY project, say it's just a thought. Like an example that I can give you is when I was little, I always wanted to fly, like I thought I could fly. Somewhere over the rainbow was my mantra because I wanted to fly away. As a child, I, felt like I just had this most horrible life and, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we get pretty dramatic. I think even little girls are probably a little bit more dramatic than little boys, thinking that, the drama. So I always thought, if I could just fly away and be a bird, and what would it be like? But honestly, that became a really great camera picture for me from my life. I always wanted to literally fly, and I didn't really have fear of flight, being in the air or anything like that. So I always wanted to become a flight attendant, which is a whole other story. And then, I know I have to remember this is only 5-minute video, so, and now it takes me to action, right? So lights, camera, action. Action is actually, now you've got this light, which is this idea, which turns into the camera, which turns into the picture, and now it turns into action. Now it turns into reality. And so the action steps that you have to take to make this whole thing happen for yourself. So if there's something that you're thinking about right now, and you're a little bit hesitant, a little bit scared, Empower Network can, kind of help you through that because there's so many people now. We're like 60,000 people. I think there's about 20,000 that are really active, which are pretty good numbers, actually. I mean, when I was coaching about 200 people at once, and about, 2% of them were actually doing something. So those are pretty great numbers for Empower Network. It's very empowering. So you can actually bring anything you want to fruition through the Empower Network business, which I love. But getting back to the lights, camera, action part of it, when I was a child, I always thought about being a flight attendant. They called them stewardesses, right? So here, lo and behold, it's like I'm 46 years old at the time. This was about 11 years ago, I guess. And a girlfriend of mine said, you'd be so good as a flight attendant. We called them flight attendants because it was politically correct. We have boys now coming in to be stewardesses, so they couldn't call them stewardesses. And oh, how funny it was, because I honestly wasn't that much smaller than I am right now. And my vision at that time was that you had to be a Barbie doll. You had to be tall. First of all, you had to be skinny. And in those days, when I first thought about being a flight attendant, you did have to be that. And now, of course, they changed all that. Some of the airplanes are even shorter, the ceiling, so that worked out real good. But anyway, I became a flight attendant at 46, just to make a long story short. And it was like a dream come true. I mean, it got to the point that I said, I cannot even believe they are paying me for this. And if they want to take money out of my check to pay them, I would gladly do that. So I did that for a few years until they found out what my background was, and I was able to help them. I worked for a small little airline called JetBlue Airways, and I opened up all the cities for them as they grew. And it was quite interesting to be able to hire pilots without a plane. And so I guess I'm a pretty good salesperson. You can say, trust me, we're getting a plane made right now, and we're going to be really big. So anyway, it was a lights, camera, action moment for me, a full circle, because I had thought about it for so many years of my life, to be able to fly and to, look over the world and see how insignificant, but yet how powerful we could be if we really wanted to be, and how important each one of us is and each one of our thoughts are. So go ahead and put your lights, camera, action to work for yourself. See what you're really good at and just, show that to the world, because they're waiting for you. Gail Kendig with Powerfully Influencing Using Nuggets of Knowledge, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.